We know that people have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this thing. And I think people are going to lose their minds.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at ways that the play Stranger Things: The First Shadow connects to the Netflix series. Viewers beware, there are many Stranger Things spoilers ahead.
I'm sorry. What's wrong? What happened? I can't find them.
The shockingly long history of interdimensional travel, The First Shadow widens the timeline of Stranger Things in shocking ways. It traces humanity's first contact with another dimension back to World War II.
The story point is that there's an experiment happening, the Philadelphia experiment. A ship, the USS Eldridge, vanishes and jumps to another dimension.
Early U.S. military experiments aboard the USS Eldridge did the impossible. An entire warship was transported to another world, a realm later known as Dimension X. That wartime gamble led to further experimentation over the years. Eventually, stolen technology ended up hidden inside a remote Nevada cave.
We used to store them underground in these silos, but we haven't used this one in years. In fact, there's no bomb here at all. It's just a big old empty space.
In 1959, young Henry Creel stumbled into that site while traveling with his family. That encounter marked Henry's first contact with Dimension X. It seems likely that this was the primordial world to which Henry would later be banished by Eleven. His exposure changed him, altering the trajectory of everything that followed.
But I was still a child, and I did not yet know my limits.
What was Joyce Byers like as a teenager?
Are you alive? Are you safe?
Long before her stint as the fearless mother at the center of Stranger Things, Joyce Byers was already closely tied to Hawkins' darkest secrets. Joyce Maldonado is a frustrated teen desperate to escape her small town. But Joyce is dissatisfied, not detached. She's observant, sharp, and far more aware of the town's undercurrents than most adults.
Don't miss it. Tickets are only 50 cents. That's 2 quarters for you Poindexters.
Joyce! Is that stupid play of yours?
Better see you there, Harrington.
Friday night? You wish.
Joyce becomes entangled in the strange events surrounding Henry Creel, including unsettling animal deaths and unexplained behavior. She listens, questions, and remembers, unwilling to dismiss things she sees just because they're strange.
I'm going out of my mind.
Look, a boy his age, he's probably just playing hooky. Okay?
No, not my Will. He's not like that. He wouldn't do that.
Right.
Those early experiences help explain her instincts later in the series. Her refusal to accept easy answers, her trust in intuition, and her willingness to believe the impossible lived within her for years before Will's disappearance.
Joyce, 99 out of 100 times kid goes missing, the kid is with a parent or a relative.
Well, what about the other time?
What?
You said 99 out of 100. What about the other time?
Joyce.
The one! The one!
How is Hopper shaped by his past? Stranger Things never hides Jim Hopper's scars. His service in Vietnam and the death of his daughter leave him emotionally closed off when the series begins.
And what does make roads red? Well, I don't know, said Matthew. It just makes me feel glad to be alive. It's such an interesting world.
Hop moves through Hawkins in a fog of guilt and anger. He drinks too much, shuts people out, and struggles to function as sheriff. Pain shapes nearly every decision he makes.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just some kind of black hole or something.
The First Shadow pushes that understanding further into his past. A younger Hopper, the son of the town sheriff, shoulders responsibility early amid a strained relationship with his father. His first investigation into strange animal deaths linked to Henry tests his instincts and resolve. Even then, Jim represses his emotions rather than confronting them. That habit later defines how he handles trauma, including his daughter's death.
After that, I hid myself in drugs and alcohol. And then people started coming into my life.
Was Hawkins unstable before 11 opened the gate? For years, Stranger Things framed Hawkins' supernatural menace as an accident. One girl, one lab, one torn barrier, and a town full of nightmares.
It's happening.
The First Shadow challenges that idea outright. The play suggests Hawkins was already a weak point long before 11 ever opened a gate. Strange disturbances, psychic experiments, and early contact with other dimensions predate 11. Henry's childhood experiences point to Hawkins as a place that attracts supernatural pressure rather than creates it.
I know you think you're bad. You can fight it!
It's not real.
That pattern continues across the series, with portals, creatures, and possessions repeatedly centered there. Hawkins isn't unlucky so much as it appears to be a weak spot between worlds.
You don't have to do this. You can still stop this.
It is over, 11. Your friends have lost.
How did Henry's childhood shape Vecna? From an early age, the world hits Henry Creel hard. Sadly, he is ill-equipped to deal with his psychic powers.
Like you, I didn't fit in with the other children. Something was wrong with me.
Emotions feel louder. Cruelty cuts deeper. The play gives us a child who feels too much without the tools to understand or regulate his emotions. His parents recognize something is wrong, but they lean into fear and denial.
She called a doctor, an expert. She wanted him to lock me away, to fix me. Even though it wasn't I who was broken, it was them.
Henry learns early on that his abilities are dangerous. He feels ashamed of them, so secrecy becomes his coping mechanism. Instead of trying to connect with people, Henry becomes an alien outside observer of the human experience. Over time, that constant self-containment curdles into resentment and control. By not participating in the world, Henry's loneliness slowly transforms into disgust for humanity.
You must never, under any circumstance, go out into the woods. Do you understand?
Is that where the monsters live?
But they won't find you.
Papa's Papa and the history of experiments. What if we told you Brenner wasn't the first Papa?
Let us work together again. You and I. Daughter. And Papa.
It turns out earlier authority figures shaped Brenner's methods. Hawkins was only the final chapter in the story of Cold War experimentation, predating 11 by decades. We are introduced to Brenner's father, a naval captain aboard a ship that was transported, briefly, to another dimension. His life's work was to repeat that achievement. His crusade taught his son the value of control, secrecy, and results.
You chose to trust me once. I'm asking you to trust me again. Journey with me into the past one last time.
The abuse, secrecy, and immoral shortcuts were already baked into the cake. By tracing this chain upward, the play reframes the lab as a tool of generational trauma. Papa was just the next link in a long, horrifying chain of events.
My friends need me. I've stopped him once and I will again.
I'm sorry. You can't. It's impossible.
Is the Upside Down sentient? The Upside Down has always felt less like a place and more like a living malevolence.
Joseph?
Joyce, come on.
The first shadow leans into that vibe, hard. It's not merely an alternate dimension one can travel to. The play suggests it's reactive to the people who touch it, especially those who are emotionally vulnerable.
You can't outrun the shadow, Henry.
It's not real.
You are the shadow!
Henry's earliest encounters imply that it was aware of him. It was no passive observer either, but nudging him along a dark path to shape him into a conduit. Whether given form by Vecna's will or existing outside of it, the Upside Down adapts. Across the series, it targets trauma, fear, and despair, becoming more dangerous every season.
Before I kill you, I want you to watch.
Could Vecna's rise have been prevented? Across Stranger Things, the cruelty of small-minded people is a recurring motif. Tormentors shape the lives of nearly every kid in Hawkins. The difference comes down to who faces them with friends and who doesn't.
Remember that time my sister kicked her ball so hard you limped for a week? Yeah, if you touch Dustin again, I'll kick them so hard they'll pop like water balloons.
Henry navigates his powers, fear, and anger in isolation, with little guidance or empathy. 11's path looks strikingly different. She endures abuse and experimentation, but she also finds a chosen family. Friends anchor her when her powers spiral.
That's super important because friends, they tell each other things that parents don't know.
Henry never gets that counterweight. The play highlights several moments where compassion, intervention, or simple understanding might have altered his trajectory. Again and again, those chances slip away. Vecna's rise feels less like destiny and more like a series of missed opportunities at human connection.
If you start to get upset, just take a deep breath and say to yourself,
which came first, Vecna or the Mind Flayer? The first shadow reopens one of Stranger Things' biggest questions: who's really in charge? In the series, Dustin suggests Vecna is only a general serving a greater force, the Mind Flayer.
Who do we know that wants to take over the world? The Mind Flayer. So if the Demogorgon was just his foot soldier, Vecna's his 5-star general. A 5-star general with the power to open gates.
Meanwhile, Vecna insists to Eleven that he gave the Mind Flayer shape in the first place. The play complicates all of this. It reveals that Henry first encountered an alien influence as a child after stumbling into a Nevada cave containing stolen technology. It transported him to Dimension X, potentially connected to the Upside Down.
Don't you see? All this time, we've been building it. We've been building it for you.
That exposure changed him long before Hawkins' lab. In Season 5, that same cave reappears within Henry's mindscape. Max hides there because Henry is too scared to enter. The place represents the source of his corruption, not his power.
Even after all this time, he hadn't given up on me. If you follow this music, then what? Then it would lead me out of here?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Is Henry Creel a tragic villain or a born monster? The first shadow pushes hard against the idea that Henry Creel was evil from the start. This version of Henry is a deeply isolated child, overwhelmed by emotions he doesn't understand.
I'm Henry Creel. I'm normal.
He's surrounded by adults who are ill-equipped to help him. Henry struggles with loneliness, anger, and a sense of being fundamentally different. This all unfolds long before his violent tendencies enter the picture.
If you come with me for the first time in your life, you will be free. Imagine what we could do together.
Between the emotional torment of his psychic powers and the forces that later exploit them, Henry's path is shaped by suffering. None of this absolves him of what he becomes, but it does flesh him out. It makes him feel more human. Vecna is a cautionary figure, showing how isolation can twist unbridled potential into something terrifying.
This is only the beginning. The beginning of the end.
Did the first shadow change how you see the world of Stranger Things? What's the relationship between Dimension X and the Upside Down? Can Henry be redeemed? Let us know your theories in the comments below.